Using image shapes is very popular and a great way to apply a bit of design touch to your website. You've probably seen circle images, for instance. That is probably the most popular shape and often used for testimonials. And until now, we always had to either use CSS for this, or we had to do it in a photo app and then upload it as a round or circle image already. Well, as of this week, Squarespace have introduced a new feature. Actually, after I recorded my lesson for CSS. If you watch the next lesson in my CSS code, I have a little bit of code for image styling. And what this code does is it applies a border radius of 5 pixels. I do that for all of my images. You know, I like to have just a very subtle corner. And this code ensures, you know, that this is applied for all images, including images in the auto layout and also images in summary blocks. And so if you go into my CSS code, you could also for instance, change this, you know, to from 5 pixels to 25 pixels. And you can see this will now apply different, you know, more of a rounded corner. So you can absolutely play around with that. And this will apply this to all images on your website. So this is still a very good method to basically apply an effect in one fell swoop, if you want, just by having a little bit of code in your custom CSS. However, we are now also able to style images in image blocks individually, which is fantastic. You can still use this 5 pixel effect if it's an effect that you like. And if not, you just highlight it and delete it from your custom CSS. Absolutely no problem to do that. So let me show you what Squarespace have done. So let's have a look at this image here. I'm actually going to apply a darker background because it's going to be easier to see the effect since my images have a very light background. So in your image block, go to the Design tab. And then here we have this new thing, corner radius. The first one here applies it for the whole image automatically for all corners. So if I do 25 here, for instance, you can see now I've got these nice corners here. And you can absolutely play around with that. These are pixel values, you know, so to get a round image, on this one it works by applying 100. If your image is larger, you might need to go higher, like 150 or 200. So absolutely play around with that. It doesn't depend on the image size, you know, at what point the complete circle shape is applied. And also, if you want to have the circle shape, make sure that you have a square image to start with. The circle shape only works on the square images. You know, on an image like here, you know, like Paula's image, for instance, you know, if we apply, you know, let's say the 200, see, you get like an oval shape because it's not a square image. And what you can also do is, let's stay in this one here. So this is when you apply it, you know, to all 4 corners in one go. You can also apply styling to individual corners, which is fantastic, you know, and you can see here which corner it is applied to. So one of the things we can, for instance, do here is if we can create like these half shapes, you know. Now let me see if we can make this even more. Let's give it like 300 and 300. Yeah, so now we have a half moon shape. It's pretty nifty, you know, I have to say. I love that they have done this. So you can absolutely, you know, play around with that. And but I would definitely still recommend watch out for consistency. So I would probably not recommend to have all sorts of different shapes now for all of your images. So definitely, you know, kind of certainly the circle images, especially for testimonials, are really nice, you know. So if we, you know, just apply that to all of our images, I just love that we can do this now, you know. And let me do the background color again here. And I also really, I have to say, I also really like what we just did for Paula's image, you know, the arc shape, if you want, and, you know, just like slightly rounded corners here. So I think that is really nice, you know. So if you decide on any of these shapes, just make sure that you are consistent still throughout your website with those. And again, you don't have to remove code for the 5 pixels unless you really want to. But this will always override that. The 5 pixel is so subtle, you know, that anything you add here will just override that anyway. So yeah, so have some fun.